um, a couple of ideas came to mind this morning that I wanted to share. The first thing is that I had the big aha a while ago, but I'm really trying to get back to it. That every day one needs to be producing and uh, well, two core things. Every day one needs to produce and publish slash distribute. There's no business model. When I say business model in terms of what you're selling, a product or service that doesn't require you to produce and or distribute. And so that got me thinking. Okay, reasoning down from first principles. Let me give you an example. First principles is about breaking down things to their most basic components and ideally components that everything share. So in science, right, we have the idea of the periodic table, and basically the periodic table breaks down to a core set of elements you find in nature. You can't break it down further. Um, a core set of elements that everything in nature is made of. So I have a couple of things to share. So this particular thing, right? A Kindle Fire reader, right? Or just a Kindle reader, right? Is made up of elements that have in common with this pen has things in common, right? Same thing with this book, right? Same thing with this super cute shout out to Bulgaria uh, um, purse mirror that I got. All right. Same thing with this ring. Same thing with this necklace. So the whole idea is we want to think about our businesses the same way, and we need to lock in what are those things that we have in common. And the power of having things in common is that you can start to use the leverage of reusability, right? When you have things in common, like Lego blocks. Lego blocks are powerful. You can have some Lego blocks and you can create a mini cathedral, all right? Or you could create like a little kids come from an engineering background, so that's how my mind thinks. They build cars, right? But then you can take both of those things apart and make something like a bridge. So everything in nature has common elements, and when you understand those common elements, then you're able to tap into the scale, the power, the leverage of reusability. So that started me thinking about the fact that I wrote it down. Basically, everything in digital business involves the reusable elements of text, video, audio, graphics, code, some kind of data analysis, strategy, and web design, right? Like you have an e-commerce web business. You're going to need some text, video, audio, graphics, code, data, strategy, design. You have a AI advisory business, right? You're creating content. You're going to need some text. Example, you create a strategy report. You're going to need some analysis. You need video, audio, graphics, code, strategy, web design, right? Anything that involves communication in online business, um, right? And those assets are used media assets. Good morning.
Hi, Shola. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you? Day starting off really well, actually.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, I'm good as well. Productive morning. Actually, today is a super rainy day, so it feels good to be working at home. But yeah, I think it adds to the coziness. Maybe makes me a little bit more productive. But
Yeah.
what about you? How's it going with project management tools today? And how's it going in general?
Really well. I started the day off looking at it just, and then I was able to. I'm actually really happy. Like started my day looking at the stats, like how many views I have the past 24 hours, and I wouldn't be starting a day like that if I didn't have the project management tool. So, as they say,
Yeah.
what gets measured gets improved, and I have no
Mhm.
doubt that my daily measurement of the growth and visibility is going to 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months from now be um, producing a marked improvement in those numbers. So I feel good about that. Also reached out as usual and did my reading. And the one thing
Yeah.
that in terms of my reading is that shout out to you for nudging me to get the Kindle Reader, and I hadn't been using it, and I just realized I'm just really about removing friction and removing how many clicks to get to what I want. And I just said, you know what? If I have the reader right by my nightstand, queued up to where I want to read, then and every day I'll make sure I read. And also, I love the idea of keeping my streak. There's a streak inside the Kindle app. That as long as you read every day. So just the act of picking up my Kindle Reader that has all the books that I want is going to move that along. So I'm really excited by that. I also I completed early. You can see it in the group chat that I was able to map out. I give myself a week to map out like the entire workflow that I discussed with you. And then what I realized is when I looked at the first step in that workflow, actually that first step had 10 sub steps. And it was mind-boggling because like the thing is that a physical human being, in this case me, had to do each step. So I just realized that so much energy comes, and each step is almost like a different in many respects a different app. So I just realized why it's so easy to break your flow when you're not batching tasks, and when you're what I did today to help break down the workflow is a term in project management called WBS analysis, workflow breakdown structure analysis. Basically, I wrote out each step, and it just made me realize, whoa, like how many times I'm not switching. I wrote down the types of switching I would have to do. Example, I got to switch tabs, right? That takes energy. And if you're the kind of person that sometimes struggles with focus, just switching tabs can be like you look up and you're on a social media and you wasted 30 minutes, right? So you have to switch tabs, you have to switch apps, you have to switch which part of the brain you're using, right? If you're doing one thing that's super logical, another thing that's like more intuitive, you got to switch which part of the brain that you use. I haven't seen any research, but I'm sure that there's something that speaks to that. So yeah, you got to switch like workflows, meaning the sequence of step by step events. So what I realize is that when you don't batch things and when you do a lot of task switching, no wonder it feels like there's a lot of friction. So I think the first step to removing the friction is to understand what you're doing. And then the second step is to start batching things that are the same. And then the third step, or maybe before that, is to simplify things.